Lesbian adult film star Lily Cade calls for violence against trans women. Recently, Queer News Tonight reported on the trending hashtag #SisWithThe that blew up after a lesbian adult performer spoke out against trans women in porn in a BBC report. Now that performer, Lily Cade, has doubled down on her anti-trans rhetoric. On a recently deleted blog post on her website, she posted, and I quote, please be advised this is a somewhat graphic, what I am about to deliver. Trans women are men. A lifetime commitment to pharmaceuticals and plastic surgery does not change sex of an animal. They came for the lesbians, and you did nothing. This discourse is holding down your daughters and degrading your sons. You stand by while mentally ill boys are encouraged to dominate your daughters in sports. You stand by while your children's teachers use them as cum rags for Judith Butler's sloppy seconds and encourage them to mutilate their bodies and make that lifetime commitment behind your backs. Your worst self is a mincing, panty-wearing pussy of a man. I deserve no pity. I ask no forgiveness. I pity no man, and I do not pity any of you. Where are your fucking balls, America? End quote. In another post, Cade discusses her thoughts on Admiral Dr. Rachel Levine, saying, end quote, Joe Biden put a pedophile monster in charge of health and human services so that the process of trapping your children with that lifetime commitment to pharmaceuticals can be honed even further into the path of least resistance. Joe Biden knows that's a man, and he knows that's a pedophile, and he knows that's the agenda, end quote.
First of all, no one's coming for the lesbians. She's just ridiculous.
She's disgusting. I'm sorry.
She doesn't
Very
represent.
disgusted.
She doesn't represent lesbians, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
I know that she has tertiary syphilis, and this is the result. Her brain is gone.
Well, and then there's that.
Well, that
I
claim
did
is
not think I was going to laugh in this story.
that claim has
That's why
just
I'm
as
here.
much basis as most of what she's saying. I mean, that she's pulling shit out of the air.
What do y'all think about, first, what do you think about to people that go, wait, you're highlighting such a minority point of view. Hundreds of thousands of people have weighed in the last week or so on this, the dueling hashtags of lesbian support versus cis and standing with the T support. Hundreds of thousands of people are arguing over this. This is not just her voice. There is many significant voices in the community that are preaching this idea. It's being suggested that lesbian women, in the example that she suggests, her reference is that they're being attacked by trans women. And it is an attack on them physically. But there's hundreds of thousands of people participating in this conversation. What do you think of the division that is being created by this in our own community?
I'm thoroughly disturbed.
Yeah, and it's
Really.
I know some lesbians who feel that trans women are trying to erase lesbians or they want to kill lesbians, and it's ridiculous. And
what is the fear?
I don't understand. I don't
obviously
really
not sitting in
understand.
either of these two component labels of our lexicon. What's behind it? How is this, and why is this developing?
I think that part of it stems from the fact that I believe trans women are women, but trans women, especially those that transition in adulthood, don't have the same experiences as young girls and young women have existing in the world. But, I still don't buy into this hateful rhetoric. That may be true, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're men. And I can't stand it when lesbians say, no, that's a man. No, it's a woman.
Well, and as we were saying, we've seen the damage of that. We saw what happened at the Michigan Women's Music Festival. This is not new. This has been going on for a long time. But I also think that trans visibility has certainly increased since that time, since Michigan. And you know what? The more visible you are, the bigger target you are also.
You know, I just dawned on me, one of the segments that we broadcast this week on on Admiral Levine, forgive me, on Admiral Levine, and she specifically mentioned the issue of visibility rises and the response of that representation. It is going to have a natural backlash. The more visible you become in the community, that was the true for gay men in the 90s and the response of the first Bush term in 2000 and Obama and response to Obama to African American in America. That's really interesting because Dr. Levine, Admiral Levine, made that exact point. And also, I ask you from the standpoint of gay men that come out late. Older gay men that come out in their 50s or 60s have generally been married. They have children, and their experience as a gay man is completely different than those that were teenagers or in their early 20s coming out. We don't hold that against them. Why would we hold that against the trans community?
And we don't hold it against women who've been married to men and have children. We don't hold that against them either. I just think it is, you know, an unfounded fear that somehow got, you know, beaten into them somehow. But I thankfully, I have never felt that way at all, ever.
Well, the best way to defeat this kind of ideology that is espoused is exactly what we're doing right here. Let's talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. Get it on the table, hash it out. That's the way to do it. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+